destiny, the fires ignite, drums of war pound through the night. Swords will clash and kingdoms break, a single move, the world at stake. Through shattered gates and falling stone, you charge ahead, you ride alone. Arrows scream but none strike true, the gods of war now ride with you. Unite the lands beneath one sky, raise your banner, never die. A hero born to conquer all, stand alone or kingdoms fall. Ashen destiny, your legend grows. In every scar the power shows. With crazy skill and ruthless might, you are the storm they fear to fight. Unite the lands beneath one sky, raise your banner, never die. A hero born to conquer all, stand alone or kingdoms fall.
All right, and thank you all for coming in today to Ashen Destiny version 8.05. There is a new update coming very, very soon. It should be out. I want to say it was Tuesday, from what the Discord was saying. Again, we're going to go ahead and hop into a game already started. Let's go ahead and load our game here, and we'll get into all the new actions and new items. As you can see, my land is a bit pink. That is not part of the game design. It's actually because I was playing another game that's graphics heavy and kind of ruined the AI experience. Don't worry, this is going to be fixed. A couple of things I wanted to show off here. New unit overview. So our overview here now shows us the amount of infantry, horses, and archers, which is absolutely amazing. The trading actually now goes up to a 2.5 if you're lucky. We also have brand new sky, brand new clouds. These clouds actually do fade in and out. These are absolutely new and lovely, so that way you don't have those big gray masses like this originally coming through. For the water, the boats, and the fish, you can see they've been updated. The boats are actually a little bit more scalding, and yes, there is a zoom in, zoom out feature now. Yay, along with your traditional ASD. You can see here the fish are now absolutely blue and not black anymore, but they still give you resources when you click on them when it's not your turn. AI turns have been limited to 3 actions per round now instead of the original unlimited, meaning they can only attack up to 3 times per turn. which is absolutely amazing. As you can tell, this game is a game in progress that we have. I kind of wish I could show off some of the other newer features here, like the castles, the roads, and everything. So what I'll do is I'll splice in another video for that, and with a couple of other things. This is just one of the overviews I wanted to show here. If we come back into our generals tab, you'll see that rewards have gone down from 100 to 50 to keep your generals loyalty all the way up. The generals tab has now been refreshed with bolder texting. Another thing to show off here, if we go into game options, you actually have a UI scale now, which will bring everything down to a minimum. This is done for people who don't care about their stats. They know what they're doing, kind of like I, who'd like to see the map action more. I know that's one of the things people may say, hey, that's not fair. I don't like that. Well, I apologize. But just so we can get back on track here, as you can see, there is one person still working on this, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm very happy how this is coming. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show off the AI. So the new improved AI, if I were to do this correctly here, we can appoint our new lands. Let me go ahead and just confirm real quick. Zoom in. Our first land I've already got set for an economy build. The economy will now just go ahead and mine as well as upkeep the economy and your crops, as well as giving you all your artifacts, which is why I have so many over here. The reason I have two spread out lands is because I started over here for a different challenge and then assassinated the landowner here, made one turn, turned this into the AI. So the AI turtle now transfers all your funds to the current land that you are going to attack with that is closest and connected. We have balanced, which will now hire troops as well as work on getting your general happiness and your mining done as well with resources to be sent. War is now actually redone. War does not care at all about how things go. They will just attack, 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 attack until they can attack no longer. Another thing that's been redone is recruiting. Recruiting now actually gives you a maximum cap of 50, regardless of the hidden stat for reputation and the charm factor. So those no longer come into play. Your troop training, however, is now or been redone. So you see how we have 97 war? 97 war will actually give me a 10 training. So everything has gone down by a few points. A level 20, which isn't here, will actually give me 4 points. 30 will give me about 5 or 6 points, so on and so forth up to 100. That's totally fine. Why am I continuing like this on this map? Well, because I can. Ending turn no longer closes the panel. It'll actually bring you back here for a reason. You can see that I mostly use archers, but that's not the point. What I would like to do is actually show off some of the newer attack patterns and plug in a few other things. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to save this progress, rewrite it, and then I'm going to go ahead and start in a new game real quick here. Let's go ahead and go to the main screen. We'll go new game. This is going to be all done in vocal here at one point. Not anytime soon, but soon. It's something that's being discussed. Let's go ahead and spawn a new map. I want to show off a brand new mechanic here. We'll go here with 5 generals because I can. First thing I'm going to do is the normal start that I always do, and that will be dumping my 400 with my 5 generals back into my economy. I really honestly do not care about much else for the first 4 turns. I do want to say, if you guys are coming in to rewatch this new episode, thank you for coming back. Thank you for stopping in again. I appreciate all the love on the last one with 120 views. I apologize for being gone for a while. I just have had a lot of things going on. Now, let's talk about how the attacking works now. Some people may have figured this out, some may not have. When a enemy faction attacks, like for instance here, if they take over this land, sometimes they won't, is because of the new mechanic called defense. If you manage not to repel, but you lose a bunch of your troops to another faction, you get one chance to come back, and then the next time you'll actually be taken over if you fail to keep up your defenses. Now, there's a bunch of other factors that have also gone in. For instance, since this enemy here attacked out, or vice versa, their general now lies on the new attacked land. So, for instance, these guys, which we saw here, actually took this land. That means their main general is here. So if I were to assassinate them with the artifacts, I wouldn't just get this land anymore. I would get both lands because you killed the emperor and then replaced him. That's kind of how it works now. I briefly touched on that on the other map. Now, going in here, you can see he's added all of the roads. He has other castles on these lands now to show you which ones are the starting capitals, which like the relative worth of them. They don't actually get better. They just are the starting details and textures, which makes the game a lot more interactive. The next couple of things he has is actually going to be trees, bamboo, new UI elements, which is absolutely amazing, and new factions and things brought in. That's going to be, I want to say, in that update on Tuesday that I've been hinting at, and there's a good reason for that. The citizen happiness has actually been redone. The citizen happiness, which I'm trying to speed through too. So you see how they tried to attack, they did, but the defenses held out. That means they're going to be severely weakened, and then these guys are weakened. Now they took it over. If I were to assassinate, I take it. You're repeating yourself and having no dead air. It's like, well, yeah, because I've learned that dead air pisses more people off than it does anything else. Now you can see we have a citizen happiness of 93. Recruiting is still 100. That's going to be refixed to 50, and approval rating. So your approval rating is going to go down. Our reward, we can now go ahead and reward them for 50 instead of 100, which is a 50% decrease to keep your generals loyal. The loyalty meter has actually been reworked for their chance of recruiting an enemy soldier from the battlefield with the bribe mechanic. The bribe mechanic now also has a percentage chance to actually successfully secure the enemy's generals. Before, it was just a hidden stat based off of luck, but now it's been reworked and redone. You might be asking, hey, why am I still talking over this quick play here? Because what I really want to show you is the new tax adjustment on the approval rating throughout the country, and we're going to incite the new mechanic called Rebellion. And Rebellion is actually brand new. It was not implemented in the previous patches. That is something new and exclusive to 8.05, which is what we are currently playing with 9.0 coming out. 9.0 is what it's going to be, not 8.06, because this is a whole graphical overhaul. Now you can see that we took our 50%. What it does is it adds this number, multiplies it by 3, and then that's what your tax rating is. You saw that we only had like 13, 14 bucks, and that's why this is now high. Your food does not go up on the 4th month. That is only for your econ. This is not 220. This is actually months and turns within your own provinces. So when you do get about 15, 16 provinces, you'll actually notice this action meter go up higher. So we'll wait on that. All I'm going to do here is just piss off the people and get this down so I can show you the new mechanic. 2 ways to do that. 1, you keep cycling through. You tax them high on the 10th month and the 4th month to get your food and your gold. Or you just keep recruiting, which, as you can see, is 4 points. They really don't like me anyway. There are still several key factors that you can actually have that will bump back up your approval. My favorite thing to do, put them down to 10%. I know a lot of people, like for instance, when I was playing with Nodby and I was suggesting to people through his stream to keep this number relatively well. What you do is you come into your tax rate, you set it to 50%, you take all the advantage of your economy within the first 4 months. You do not do it again on month 10 because you will not need the food if you're going on the same path that I am, which I've already depleted everything. Let's go ahead and assign soldiers. 250, cool. Who's actually my highest war? My main character. Great. So what we'll do is we will strip these guys. Now, stripping my other generals will still put 1 unit on the battlefield, which is totally fine, totally acceptable. I'm not worried. Actually, you're not going to get that. Are you my highest wisdom? No, you're my highest wisdom. All right. Horses go up. Agility 77. Yeah, sure. You can go ahead and take over the archers. Yes, that is still the same mechanic as the previous, but that is all right. We're not too worried. All I'm trying to do is show off some of the new mechanics in this one, and then show off a couple of things we have been talking about in the Discord. If you have not joined the Discord for Ashen Destiny, you'll actually be able to on that main menu when you chase around the Discord button. It gives you something to do. Um, yeah. Also, that's why we started a new thing, because that new audio is actually a part of the new update, and that's actually going to be moved to the #1 song, and that's going to make everything all the better. So let's just go ahead and continually recruit here. Let's make the population upset. As you can see, when I do take the population, it does take away it takes away the population and the approval. I'm going to keep my tax at 50%. Like I said, I really want to enact the riot, and that only happens when you do hit a 0. That's why it's highly important that you pay attention to what you're actually doing. So you can see how the people I have actually have been abandoning their post and their duties due to the low approval. Nothing to do with devotion. Devotion is how loyal your generals are on top of the reward. It's just an additional factor. So let's go ahead and give you 300 units. Let's go ahead and give you some. We're going to end this turn. Yeah, it takes a little while to enact anything, and especially the way I'm doing it, the fastest way that I can. But now that I have a 6th general, it's not going to much matter. During the revolt, there's a chance that one of your generals with the troops you give them will actually fight you. And if you lose during that battle and all of your unassigned units, well, let's just say it gets fun. Oh, we're training. Nope. Wait, I wanted to recruit. Why won't you let me recruit? Oh, yeah, population too low. Totally fine, or that I have no money. Well, looks like I have no money. That's quite all right. It's first thing in the morning. I apologize. Also, I haven't even started in with the proper dialogue, which is good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So, all is well. So we've got 6 gifts, $100, but we can't do much else. Keeping it on 50 might be able to give me the lower population that I want. So let's just go ahead and continue to mine. Let's not forget to bring in another general. Now, with a lower population, you notice that I get lower loyalty and lower approval. That is totally fine. That is not something I am going to shy away from. I'm not very worried. Now, the amount of revolt that you get in your city highly depends upon your population, and then it's about 521 that I would be facing right now. So that's how many people are going to revolt, give or take, depending on the devotion as well. So if my devotion was down to 40, it would actually be higher. It'd be about 400 to 500 units. But yeah, that's going to be quite a lot. And again, they all attacked. They came to here. So if I assassinated, it would be here. If I had the $600, I don't. That's all right. Now, speaking of $600, that actually, too, was reduced down to $300 now and 3 treasures, so it's $100 plus the treasure. The other thing to note is that the game might go through a name change because not a lot of people are clicking on Ashen Destiny to download the demo to give any feedback. Apparently, it's not eye-catching enough, according to statistics. But then again, not a lot of people are interested in a game like this, and it makes me a little unhappy to know that, because in my opinion this is definitely game of the year, and I'm not just saying that because I got a copy for free. I'm saying that because this really is a up-and-coming game that is really worth your time and while. So let's see, we're down to 8 approval in month 8. Perfect. I'm on track for a revolt. Let's see if that's going to happen on the next turn. We'll just let the enemies attack and banish each other. It makes it a lot easier in the long run if you turtle like I'm turtling, like an AI turtle now, because in doing that, you actually will gain more resources, more everything. So let's go ahead and check out my reward. You can see because of the low population and low morale, we're actually losing a lot more loyalty. You notice that this guy, when he came in, was 93. He's 78 now. That's okay. I don't care about the peoples. Like I said, I'm trying to incite a riot. Uh, it is again a random turn, and depending on how my actions go, yeah, that'll be fun. Now, we have a new mechanic coming. It might not be in the next update, it might be in the one afterwards, and that is going to be wall defenses for when you're turtling or you want that extra stability. So when you mine, you notice how it says we removed rubble? That's going to be a new mechanic in the game. That's going to go underneath food and above your general count. That's going to tell you how many stones you have, which will give you about 5, 10, 15 stones when you mine, but it is absolutely based off of the total number increase from 0 you get for the general. So if I got a 26, I'd have 26 stone, and then that would go to a new mechanic called defenses. Now, defensive walls is going to be a whole nother category. That's basically going to allow you to build a wall in the front, which will protect your land for an additional turn. So if that falls, you're not completely screwed. The way you repair that, which is how we're in talks about it, is the stone is going to go to build it. You need 100 in order to build the first wall. To upgrade it, you need 100 as well. You can upgrade it 3 times. One's just going to be a simple gate block with in a small union. The second one is going to allow you to build it with your units, just like how using the ignite function goes, to where instead of igniting, you can build a defensive barrier while on the field, which is something that if you've ever played Gemfire was a mechanic as well, that you could build another. Yeah, as you can see, these guys are all revolting from doing anything. So we've got to keep everything on our toes and double check. So you see how I put 100 and then they said no, and then they backed away? Yeah, that's kind of how it goes with the low morale. So now we have another 118. Let's go ahead and recruit for 100. We're going to have our main lord do it. Boom, 2 loyalty. So we're getting, and you can see they keep leaving every time, which is great. That's what I want. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so when you attack another province and the gates are up, or the defenses are built, I should say in this way, the way around them is one of 3 ways. It hasn't been quite really put into play. The way he suggested was when you build the barricade or you have it on your land and you use it as a main defense line, you need to hit 2 switches or destroy the 2 side towers and the wall would fall, but you can still have your defense units on it. My way of thinking for it and giving feedback was if we were to do it that way, it would probably be best to put it like a capital where they have units on the gate itself, and once you destroy the gate units, you can go through the gate. Option number 3 was, even though the gate is there already, what you can do is you can just destroy the first set of gates and bring down the walls. Okay, so now you can see we've traded. We are going to recruit again with our last dude. -1 approval. We are now going into revolt territory, which I hope comes soon. Now, I still have 50% taxes. I still went ahead and did it on 10. We have a little extra food, but you can tell I'm ignoring everything. When you want that loyalty to go back up or that devotion from the citizens, do your economy, do your crops, do not give them food. I find giving them food is a waste of time because it's only a 4 to 10 bonus, whereas your economy is a 5 to 20 bonus, depending on who does it, how high their stat is, and how everything goes. let's see. Maybe because the devotion is low, they don't feel like they should, but they should. So I'm kind of confused as to why they're not attacking right now. This was in this patch. Um, well, you know what? We're going to go in with 0, and we're going to go ahead and invade this country. Well, you know what? Wait, we have 400 bucks. Who attacked where, when, and how? Because they might have moved the generals back. Okay, so you came out here to attack one of those two. You probably came here and attacked this. So let's go ahead and get in our assassinate. Ah, bummer. Okay, so I am without money now. As you can see, yeah, it did cost 300. Now, ally diplomacy and relations are coming in the next patch. Well, not the next patch. It's about 3 weeks out for the mechanics. So I've basically shown that. The next thing I'm going to show off is another thing that we are in talks with, which is adding a unit overview. Horses got a buff. I'm not going to bring them though. That's my mistake. Let's bring our $100. Let's bring 300 food. Now $100 is only going to give us. Let's see. We brought 4 units in. 2-3 turns at most, so we have to move fast and pretty much do it now. Normally, I would advise getting a bunch of archer units so that way you can go ahead and get the range factor done. I prefer using the ranged over anything else, especially when it comes to onslaught skills, because once you surround the enemy, you actually do a lot more damage with it. And with archers from range, well, as you know, archers with range rule the battlefield. Now, I do have some other footage I'm going to be splicing in probably after this to show you what I'm trying to impose and implore with more units. And it's something that I've come up with, but something he was going to do already with the 3D modeling. And again, he added battlefield zooming, so you can actually zoom in on the battlefield. So let's onslaught here. Let's move you up. Let's do a little bit of damage, move you back up. As you can tell, I still have 100. The day counter was added now. So now we have a day counter. You get 30 complete turns, which is absolutely amazing. I like it. I don't know if other people do because nobody's giving feedback, again, which is a lot more crucial than one would think when you're developing a game by yourself. You need more than just one enthusiastic guy who's playing this game religiously because he's no lifing it because he absolutely loves it. And again, like I have said like 2-3 times before, this is game of the year material for me, even though it's still a demo and a lot of people believe that finished games should get gaudy. Well, for that I have to say sorry, no. This has more mechanics than any of the other games. Like, for instance, let's take Skyrim. It's the same shit every time. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. It's like, oh, let's bring the same copy of shit out every time. Okay, so as you can see, we did attack, we did take. Now, this province might come up in a revolt now that we are away playing with toys. Why do I call them toys? Because they're toys. That's totally fine. Main thing I wanted to show off here was coming into generals appointing. We are on, so whichever territory you're on and you want to know which territory you could turn into a bot, the green is where you're at, and the green, since it was our starting, is actually the one we're going to turn into an ecobot. Again, like I was talking to you earlier about, it's going to do all of our mining, all of our transferring of goods and funds, but it's mainly going to focus on the approval, economy, and crops, whatever it does not need to survive that. So basically, I can still do a free action. I really don't care. I'm just going to go ahead and bump it through. So again, here what we're going to do is we're going to abandon this game now that I've shown off a few of the mechanics. We're going to go back into another set of footage I have, provided I haven't deleted it because, well, because that's all I have to say. I've been doing a couple of other things myself, so just trying to make things work and free up space for other games, but that's not going to really be the case. You know what? Screw it. I'll add it here in post-production. We're going to go 300. We're not bringing you. We're going to bring you, and you again. We're going to bring 100. We're going to bring 400, and we're going to attack. And then I'm going to send all of my generals but one, recruit a bunch of people, and then, okay, we're going to go here, here, and here. Sorry, because this is a short map. I like it because it's a short province. Now, one thing that I do have to say that was not in some of the original is the land features themselves. You saw how that was a small continent? It's a small map. The bigger the continent, the bigger the map. That is phenomenal when you're trying to remember how big a land is or how often you need to send troops. So, something to keep in mind. Now, sometimes, if you get a general down to almost nothing, you can recruit and bribe them easier as well. So for instance, we have $100 that would cost all my money. With an 80% chance to convert, let's go ahead and convert this guy. Oh, your chance failed. You suck. Yes, I know. Thank you. It also depends on their loyalty. And again, like I said, I have not been improving anything in that category. So, okay, so you're not going to want to move. Here, let's move. Oh, crap. There we go. Okay. Yes, the buttons are a bit sticky and sometimes they are unresponsive. That is nothing to worry about or fret your little minds over. It just means move your mouse, do something. I'll move you over here. Oh, we won. I was going to show off Onslaught. Well, anyway, during that fight, you should have noticed I added some UI textures in for each general, even though it's probably the same picture because I didn't have any horses or archers to add in that footage properly. But I'm going to go ahead and cut, post, and edit that. This was just the show off of the skills and reworking that we have done other than war, which war, to go briefly into that, now just fully attacks anything once it's prepared. So if I were to send these 1,000 units back to this land, it will automatically distribute, it will automatically train, it will automatically get generals, recruit, and then push once it has a full stack of 300, and then will not stop until it loses. It doesn't care if it gets attacked back, it doesn't care about any other mechanic other than attacking. So keep that in mind if you're making an over powerful land and you don't want to do any of the attacking. You don't even have to be in charge of the troops because the AI is doing it. You don't get to look over the battlefield. So choose the skill wisely. Now, that is everything covered here for now with the current UI interface and the updates and everything. Sorry, I'm a bit to roll this out. Again, I've been having a few personal things and other things go off. That was just an overview on some of the reworks and some of the mechanics. Looks like I may have jumped the gun with the loyalty and the revolt, even though it's supposed to be here. I guess once you get lower than 50, or lower than 20, that's when the revolts start happening. That's why there's a negative number. Totally fine. I guess I misread that. I thought it was supposed to be at 0, but 0 is neutral. So it's basically hateful, hated, and then neutral, loved, and beloved. So that's basically the tiers I'm giving it with every increment of 50. So maybe if I were to splice in at the end a hardcore attempt at getting a revolt, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna cut in here with a AI setup with war, and then we'll just watch how war goes. I think I'll do that. No, you know what? I'll save that for the next video with the new update to show off a bunch of the newer features. Let's go ahead and go over here to the actual Discord, and you'll see these are the textures he's working on here. Cherry blossoms, trees, more trees, moss-covered trees, trees, dead trees, cactus, bamboo, moss on the field. And then you can also see that he's added the textures to the lands to give them more life and prosperity. Couple of extra overviews for the map so you can see it in total. And then we have a newer feature here, which is the overall. We'll pause that. the overall textures on the main screen. If you didn't see already, you saw the castles. Well, now they've been re-UI'd, and this is how it's going to look on the update coming up soon. Let's go ahead and close that. Banter between he and I about how things are coming up. Yeah, and then here's one of the new features coming as well. Sorry, his stuff is all high up. But here's the key feature he's going to show off is now you can rotate your map with Q and E. And the cool thing about this moving with Q and E is also the fact that you can see which lands are actually lands connected and which lands are not connected. The other thing he is adding, and this is absolutely amazing, I'll have to hit the mute button again. Oh, no, I don't. So aside from Q and E moving, he's adding in additional islands. That way we are not left alone in this world. Yes, that is a hint at future multiplayer coming through. Nothing implemented yet. Also, another feature he is talking about adding in with that when we come all the way down here, down the road project, and something that I was mentioning. You can pause and read any of this as I scroll by. But he is thinking of sending generals on a recruiting mission to other islands to probably get special units. That is undiscussed. As you can see, I'm at the end of the thread post. But as you can tell, he and I have been going back through a lot of information here and all of our thoughts and progress. Now, something new is name change ideas. And this is again hinting at what I mentioned earlier in the video at how people were not seeing this eye-catching or anything like that, or even giving their feedback, really. Here's all of the names he's coming up with here. You can pause at any time to read them. It's just going to be my voice. And then here's some that I recommended here. Again, you can literally see I'm the only one here giving any feedback with the game. Not sure why. And then we come back over here to feedback. Nobody's left any feedback. You come to report bugs. Well, I've got a bunch of hints and information in case, and I said that in the first one. Dev logs. If you ever want to see what his roadmap looks like, let's go ahead and pull it up here. This will probably move under. So as you can see, these are all things that are done and when the game started in beta 1.01 or 0.089, I don't remember, but I started playing way back. More map sizes in total? Yes, but he rendered them and then didn't put them until into the full game. Let's come down to recent. Here's everything in August that's been updated. September, action point counter, that was redone. Tooltips redone. Tutorial redone. And here we go. Ending screen. This is where he's at starting the progress. Random surrounding islands. It says it's done. He's going to do more polish, and you can see that was on the 10th, which was a couple days ago, and the new update's coming up with all of this information. Now, UI scaling and settings again, he's redone. So now there's going to be that larger one is going to be 100. Our starting is 50, and if you need help seeing it, we're going to slide it back to 50, which is going to be the larger print, which is what you see me playing with here. That was something else we had discussed. We're coming down here, lanterns, carts, expensive campfires, barrels, banners, and floors, which means things are going to be good. And then ruins, more items. 3D battle animations. Yes, that is something that I posted on earlier in the video, spliced after the fact, which I was trying to show you. Yes, you're going to see full controller support come soon for everything. Diplomacy is being worked on, achievements, weather, and visuals. Now, this is one that we've been discussing privately over Steam instead of in the chat because, again, you saw that pink screen at the beginning. That's what I want spring to look like, okay? That is my personal want because I'd like the pink background to show that the cherry and plum trees are in bloom. That way it gives a more festive atmosphere. And then battle map backgrounds and 3D landscapes actually popping everything into 3D. That's not hard to explain. But here's everything coming up that he wants to get done, and then a bunch of the discussions we were having. For instance, Castle yard. Gates surrounding the walls and buildings. That's the one I was touching up on. Battle map, add lever and archers. You can actually see more of his hints. Boop. See, archers can hit to open the gates faster. So there will be additional triggers and then hit points. Defense value to profits to develop. That was what I was hinting at with the new stats. So let's go ahead and close that and close that. And that's where I'm going to end this session. And thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for watching. Stay foxy. Much love. Enjoy the day. And happy holidays to anybody celebrating any holidays during the next couple of weeks.